people? Good Tuesday to you. I hope you're having a good day. I'm going to keep my day job. I want to talk about moving from New York City to VA. What that looked like for me. At a very young age, I was always attracted to the mountains, camping, the woods, all that good stuff. It's kind of ironic that, I grew up in such a big city as New York City, and I would find myself, many times just gazing out the window. And that's one specific area that I can think of. Ooh, excuse me, I wanted to sneeze. I was living in the Bronx. And at this point, I had my 8-year-old daughter, and my second child, my daughter, was 1 year old. And when I only had my oldest, I remember spending time out looking out the window while she was downstairs. We lived in an apartment complex, and I can see out of my window, I can see the front of the building, and the kids would play and turn on the fire hydrant during the summertime. And I would look out the window, and although I love those moments that I lived in the Bronx and that whole experience that I had, I would look out the window and long for something different. I wanted to be able to see more trees. I wanted to see more grass. I knew that there was someplace else besides the concrete jungle of New York City. I had not traveled very much out of New York, outside of just like local areas, maybe Long Island to, meet my parents' family's home. But my whole world was surrounded around New York City. I went to, high school there. I took the 6 train to the high school that I went to, and which was an all-girls school, an all-girls high school. And I remember wanting to leave there. And then as an adult, looking out the window, watching other people that's all they knew, and they were okay with that. Which there's nothing wrong with that, but I longed for something different. So I remember one specific year, I had a friend of mine that her husband was in the military. So they were stationed here in Virginia. And she had invited me to come and visit for a weekend. And I specifically remember going after work one day and having my brother hide my suitcase in his car so that he can pick me up the following day after work to take me to the airport. Because my husband, my late husband, did not want me to go. And so I came to VA, to make a long story short, and just felt a connection to VA. And I loved it here. It was different. Everything that I was looking for. Is it perfect? No, it's not perfect. Every state has its pros and its cons. But I remember coming here and seeing a different way of life for me and my family. And so by the end of that weekend, I had secured an apartment. I had put down a deposit, security deposit, and I called my husband. Of course, I was still in contact with him throughout the weekend, and he was pissed. And I told him to pack all of our stuff, to start packing and look for boxes, because we were moving at this point in my husband's, terminal illness, he had underwent a bone marrow transplant, and I'm telling you this because it's a part of why I made the decision to move to VA. It's an important detail. So at that point, the bone marrow affected the lining of his lungs, and there's a term called graft versus host, and that means that whenever you receive a transplant of any organs or even blood components, your body will start to reject it because it realizes that it's something foreign in the body. So that was what was happening to my late husband. And so it had attacked the lining of his lungs, which is irreplaceable. And so eventually he was going to be confined to an oxygen machine and finally to a wheelchair. And I knew that a wheelchair in New York City didn't go hand in hand. So it was a perfect combination of things that opened up the door for me to come here to VA. And I took that opportunity. I was scared. It was change, but I did it anyway. And it took him about a year to really get used to VA and the slow pace of VA opposing to New York City. But after that, he was so glad that we had made that move. We's a lot of people, because it was really me. But it was conducive to his condition, and we were met with a lot of challenges medically here. The medical insurance is not the same as it is in New York City, but we got through it, and I'm here to say that I lived through that. And the human spirit is stronger than what we think it is. And I know that at times, we're afraid to make certain changes, and we're afraid of, stepping out. Change can be very scary, but it's possible. And is my life perfect here? No, there's no perfect scenario. But it's not where I want it to be. I didn't want to be in New York City. And I'm very grateful for being in VA. I don't know what the future holds, but I'm grateful. I just wanted to share that with you guys today. And I hope you have a wonderful day.